Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's tutorial we'll be learning how I achieved the upper part of this gown. Yes, it's a princess dart with a side v-neck. So if you're interested in learning, please stay tuned to the very end. Welcome back. So you want to start by folding your paper into two, then draw your straight line, which will be the start line. So all the measurements will be from the start line. All right, so go ahead and mark all the vertical measurements. For mine, my chest line is 9 inches, bust is 12 inches, on the bust is 15 inches, and my waistline is 17 inches. So I'm using my measurement for the purpose of this tutorial. So in order to get a straight line, I'm also marking it from the other hand. All right, so there's a formula for the chest line, yes, but for the sake of this tutorial I am only using 8 inches, so you can go ahead and use the formula. Okay, so once you're done with the markings, so go ahead with your ruler to connect all the lines, all the dots. All right, once you're done with that, the next thing we want to do is to label our lines. Yes, so you don't want it all mixed up, especially for beginners, so just go ahead and label your lines. The next thing is our horizontal measurement. So for the horizontal measurement, I'm starting from the start line. I'm taking my shoulder. Yes, my shoulder is 16 divided by 2, 8 inches. Mark it on the start line and on the chest line, and also marking my armhole, which is bust divided by 4. Yes, so once you're done doing that, I'll go in with my ruler to connect the dots. So for the chest line, from the armhole, I ruled a straight line. Go in with my ruler to remove my shoulder slope, which is the 1 inch I added. So I'll be left with my 8 inches. Get the midpoint, which is 4. Go in by half an inch. Okay, so for this part I like to use my pattern master because of the angle 90 degree on the pattern master. So I'll ensure the 90 degree on the pattern master is sitting on the armhole line and on the chest line, just like this. So just follow this, and I will get the midpoint, which is the 45 degree, and mark 1 inch there. So I just put it up a bit so that I can take my 1 inch from that angle. So the reason for this is not to have over excess, yes, at my underarm. All right, so go in with your ruler, with your cuff. If you have your pattern master or you have your armhole curve, just go ahead and use it to connect the dots. So the next thing we want to do is to return our bust. So we'll be taking the bust that much later, but because I needed to mark my hip, so I returned it. That's the 2 inches from my waistline down to get a new waist. So during the course of this tutorial we'll be taking the bust dart. So from there, from the new waist, I went down by 7 inches to mark my hip line. So go ahead and rule it and label your line. All right, I hope you're getting this. So the next thing I want to do is to mark my dart leg. So I'll be using my nipple to nipple measurement for the purpose of this. So my nipple to nipple is 8 inches divided by 2. That will give me 4. So I will mark it from the hip all the way to the bust. You're marking the dart from the hip all the way to the bust. Then go ahead and use your ruler to connect the dots, just like this. Then we want to go in to take our dart. So just see the screen. Yes, any dart that is applicable for your breast is what you should use. Mine, I'm using 3 inches. So I'm taking the 3 inches from the under bust all the way down to the hip. All right, so just take yours and mark it and connect the dots with the ruler from the under bust to the hip. The next thing to do is that from the bust I will go down by half an inch. Okay, so this time around we are not using the straight ruler, we are using the curvy part of the pattern master, or if you have any curved ruler, go ahead and curve it the way I am covering mine. So once you're done with the curve, the next thing we want to do is to connect the dart leg with the armhole. All right, you're connecting the dart to the armhole. So to achieve this, I will go ahead and measure what I have from the shoulder slope marking all the way down to where I have the dots for the armhole. So what I have is a bit above 10. So I like to fold my measuring tape this way in order not to miss out on any points. Yes, so this is accurate. Then I will go ahead and mark the midpoint, which is a bit above 5. So go ahead and do yours. So whatever you get, connect it with the curvy part of your ruler to the bust dart. Okay, just do it the way I am doing mine. So go ahead and connect it. The next thing I want to do is the armhole dart. So we are taking dart on the armhole, so just 1 inch, half an inch on both sides. So just mark it this way, and we're connecting it to the bust. But from the bust, we'll be going up by half an inch from the bust. Yes, so once you're done, take your ruler, your pattern master, and do the connection. So connect the first leg of the dart just this way, but the second one, you are extending it a bit below the bust. So just watch it clearly, carefully. Yes, watch it carefully the way I am marking mine. So I'm extending my hand a bit below the bust. So just this way. Yes, this is just to give you a perfect curve. All right, so you won't be having a pointed bust by the time you're done. So we are returning the dart. Yeah, you're extending that leg, the one where we did the curve, a bit down the bust. We're extending the dart leg forward. Then we mark our 1 inch on that extension. So this will be the new armhole. Please ensure you do this. So check your chest line, measure whatever the dart that passed through the chest line is, and return it, yes, to the armhole. Some people don't do this, but I like to do this in order not to have shortage, to avoid story that touches. All right, so the next thing to do is to connect with the curve. So just go ahead and connect this way. So once you're done with the connection, then we'll be working on the borders. So the new waist, yeah, is our waist. Then my measurement divided by 4 is 9.25 plus the 3 inches dart that I took. Ensure you return your dart. So that gave me 12.25. So I'll go ahead and mark the 12.25. So the next thing to do is to also mark my hip. My hip measurement is 11.75. Yes, plus the 3 inches dart that we took. It's important you return it. So that will be giving me 14.75. Yes, so don't go ahead and mark your hip measurement. Once you're done with the markings, yes, the next thing we want to do is to connect with our ruler. So from the chest line to the waistline, you connect with a straight line. So from the waistline to the hip line, connect with curve, not too curvy. Yes, not too curvy. Once you're done with that, then the next thing we need to do is to return to take the bust dart. Remember I told you that we'll be taking the bust later. So from the bust point, go in by 0.25. Then the side, take your 2 inches, 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Remember we've returned it already. That is why we have the new waist. Go in with your ruler and connect the darts like this. All right, so the next thing we want to do is the down part where we have the basque. Yes, so as you can see on the screen where I have this down part. So to achieve this, from the new waist I went down by 2 inches. Yes, then close my dart leg. Please ensure you close your dart. If you don't close your dart, by the time you're done drafting and you want to join, it will not be equal. All right, so ensure you close your dart. Once you're done closing your dart, then go in with your ruler and rule as desired, as you want. So this is the method I used, so you don't necessarily need to use this, but if you want to achieve what I achieved, then you can do it this way. All right, so once you're done doing that, I open it back. Yes, then for the dart, I also need to close the dart in order not to have shortage, so you understand better what I mean by the shortage. So now that I'm done closing the dart, as you can see, it's not equal. The upper line and the lower line are not equal, so I need my ruler to connect it to give me a straight line. Yes, so I don't have any form of shortage. All right, so once you're done doing that, the next thing is to cut out. All right, so you cut your pattern out. We are not done yet. Yes, but the reason why we folded our paper into two is because of the neckline. Remember, it's one side v-neck. Okay, so just go ahead and cut your pattern the way I am cutting mine. So if you're finding this video very interesting, please kindly give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my video. Yes, so the next thing to do, we don't need the two pattern, one it's okay since it's the same. Just go ahead and close the dart leg. All right, so just use your measuring your paper tape or any tape you have to close the dart leg. Okay, once you're done closing the dart leg, done closing the dart leg, just continue with the cutting. So I went on to cut out all the darts. Yes, we don't need them anymore. So also I went ahead to cut the upper part before the start line. We don't need it. Also, we need to work on the neck now. So you flip this open from the center. From the center front, go ahead and mark 3.5 inches to the side. So you can decide to mark it any side you want. All right, so for the other hand, I marked 2 inches up and 1.5 inches down. So for this, you can make yours 3 inches depending on how wide you want it. Then go in with a little covering ruler and do the covering. So the next thing I did is to join the part I cut out. So this can also serve as a check because the chest line has to be equal. So the next thing to do is to draw my neck. All right, so you can go down as desired or go up anyhow you want it, but this was how I did mine. All right, the next thing to do is the shoulder slope. All right, so remember we added 1 inch shoulder slope, so we're taking it out and mark it and rule your shoulder slope to where the neck ends or where the neck will be starting from anyways. So also go ahead to do this on the other side. Mark the 1 inch and connect with the ruler. All right, the next thing is to cut out the shoulder slope and the neck. So once you're done cutting, yes, we are done for the front pattern. The next thing to do is to mark our bust padding. So to achieve the bust padding, so from the side, the tip, I went in by 7 inches. So mark your 7 inches by the side. So we'll be doing the connection to the under bust, yes, and to the upper part. We'll achieve that shortly. So from my bust, yes, I went up by 4 inches. So just go up by 4 inches to get a straight line. On the other hand, also go up by 4 inches. Then to achieve this end, we need to connect the straight line to mark our bust, to mark my bust. Okay, so from the marking, I also went up by 4 inches. Okay, so mark your 4 inches and connect all the dots with your ruler. So this would give us where we'll be having our padding. All right, so from the markings up all the way to the under bust. So for me to easily remember, so I decided to shade it out, all right, and label it. So this is the part I will be tracing out for my bust pad. So you can use wording for this, because I use wording, but some people use bra foam. Any word that works for you. So from the marking to this of the side, I'll be connecting it with my curve all the way to the under bust, and the 4 inches I marked up. So you can use freehand for this actually, but you can also use the curve, any one that works for you. So just go ahead and do the curve this way to get the bust pad. So these parts are the parts you are going to trace out on another paper to cut your attached pad to your lining. So in order not to forget, so we're done. So I detached it, and in order not to forget, I also shaded that part. Yes, and just go ahead and give it a little shade. So you're tracing this out to form the bust pad. So the next thing to work on is the front back pattern. So ensure you do all your vertical markings just like we did for the front pattern. Yes, so once you're done with this, go in and also take all the horizontal marking for the armhole, for the waist. So for the waist, I added 1 inch for our dart intake. All right, so instead of having 9.25, I have 10.25 for my dart intake. So I also went ahead to mark my hip. Then I'll be using my ruler to do the connections. So just like the way we did for the front, exactly the same. Take your shoulder slope, get the midpoint, do the necessary connections for the armhole. All right, so please don't forget to like my video and to subscribe to get more tips and more videos on pattern drafting. So once you're done connecting the armhole, the next thing you want to do is also to connect the bodies like we did for the back. Just a quick check to ensure I took the right measurement. All right, so then use the curvy part to connect the waist all the way to the down hip. So the next thing to do is our back tightening. So this is just to help our dress to lay well at the back, help my dress to lay well at the back a little. Then I'll connect it to the center back. Yeah, so I took 1 inch for the back intake, 1 inch for the back intake, and I connected it to the side, to the mid, to the center back. So once you're done, the next thing to do is to also further do another tightening. So from the waist, I went in by 1 inch from the waist. I went in by 1 inch, but whatever I'm taking, you have to return it back. So I returned the 1 inch back to the side. I took it on the center back, so I returned it to the side, and I did the connection to get the new side line. So once you're done doing that, so we need to connect the intake to the neck. So we can't achieve this without drawing the neck. So I cut out the excess like I did for the front. Yes, so I opened my paper to draw my neck. So to achieve this, just the way we did for the front, from the center back, I went to the side by 3.5 inches. So once I'm done doing that, the next thing to do is just the way I did for the front. Go to the side and mark my 2 inches up. So mark your 2 inches up. All right, so in order not to forget, to get my midpoint, so I used my front pattern to get my midpoint. So I placed my front pattern on my back side just the armhole, yes, to get the midpoint. So instead of taking the measurement again, so this is easier. So with this you get the midpoint. So in continuation, so I went ahead and take my 1.5 inches down, then connect it with a little curvy ruler, just like this. So once you're done connecting, the next thing I want to do is to connect my shoulder slope. Yeah, the shoulder slope we added. Then the next thing is the neck. So from what I took, the line, I went down by 1 inch for the neck depth. So I connected to the side 3.5 inches that I marked. All right, so we are done marking the neck. The next thing to do is to connect the intake, yes, to the neck. So that was why we had to mark our neck. It must not exceed the neck. It must not go beyond the neck markings. Ensure you look well. Yes, as you can see, yes, it does not exceed the neck marking. So go ahead with your straight ruler and rule it out. Yeah, so for the lower part, you can just go down by 4.5 inches and connect it just like this. All right, so I quickly give this a shade because we don't need it. It's totally out in order not to forget. All right, the next thing I will be doing is to take my dart intake. So I also still use the same format for the front, for the back. I used my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches to take my back dart. All right, so I marked the 4 inches up, and I also marked the 4 inches on the hip line. All right, so go ahead and rule the markings. So to achieve this, all right, so ensure you close your dart leg. So ensure you close your dart. So just close your dart this way, the way I'm doing mine. So once you're done closing the dart, then you want to mark the standard 5 inches up and 5 inches down. Yeah, the standard dart measurement. So for quick check, I had to reconnect the side. Yeah, okay, so always reconnect so you don't have excess. All right, the next thing to do is to mark the dart. So go down by 5 inches, and I also went up by 5 inches. Then the dart, I added 1 inch for the back dart. So I spread this on both sides, then I went in with my ruler to roll it out. So remember, on the armhole, I've marked it already. It's just to connect. So use the little curvy part of your ruler to connect the dart to the armhole, just like this. All right, so we are almost done. The next thing is the back. Yes, the back design. Yeah, the down design, I mean. So from the waist, you go down by 2 inches, fold in the darts, okay, like we did for the front. Then go in with your ruler to do your markings. All right, okay, so the next thing we want to do is to cut out the pattern. All right, so just go ahead and cut it out. So I just folded the dart just to be sure I did the right thing. Yeah, okay, so I folded the dart and I cut it out, and I folded the dart in. Yes, we don't need it. Use my paper tape to hold it down. All right, so the next thing is to go ahead to cut the remaining part. So the neck, just little finishing. From the side, I'll go down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and I also connect it. Alright, the next thing is to cut out the neck and the shoulder slope. Yes, we are almost done. So once you're done cutting, you fold your paper again, yes, to trace out the dart so that we can have it on the other side. So I use a tracing wheel to trace out the dart. Yes, the dart left. Then we want to cut out the back intake, the one we shaded, the one I shaded initially. Alright, so once you're done cutting it, you'll be left with 2 back. Alright, 2 pattern. Then go ahead and fold in the intake. Yes, the back intake. So I used my paper tape to hold it down. I also folded it on the other hand. That was why I had to use my tracing wheel. So the next thing is to cut out the darts. Yes, the made darts. And yes, we have our pattern. So thank you so much for watching today's tutorial.